Head over to the brand new FriendoShop.com and get your latest Friendo merchandise. While you're there, use code FriendoFriday to get 20% off. And don't forget to pick up Don't Interrupt the Game t-shirt right now. FriendoShop.com. Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch, twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. I think I botched that intro, but we're live, so I can't do anything about it.
Oh, what happened?
Like, the video for the actual intro stuff didn't play, but I forgot that the music probably still did. So I started talking before our actual, like, while our music just was blasting. So,
all right. We can do the intro again in case people couldn't hear it.
Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back, Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you can be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, of course, taped live at the Twitch and at the YouTube, but at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. If you're watching us live on the YouTube, do us a huge favor. Give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit that notify bell. Look, there's no Paul today. But you know,
Paul, huh?
It'd be pretty cool if we got 200 likes by the end of the show. That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be great.
Right?
Before we get to the talk of AEW and Dynamite, excuse me, programming changes for the next couple weeks, real quick. So we're gonna do a new show tomorrow. Then we got Friendo Awards on Friday. Yeah. And then next Monday we got Count Out. Do this from memory. I'm not looking at the paper. Tuesday, there's nothing. We're not doing anything on Tuesday.
Nothing.
You
know what's cool is that it turns out I don't have anything either. It's kind of cool. Because remember I had that big thing I had to do, but they changed it up. So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wednesday, we got AEW.
Correct.
Thursday is going to be our predictions for 2023.
Very good.
Friday, we're doing a special watch along to SmackDown on the 30th.
Yep.
Because they're... it's got that huge main event. John Cena's going to wrestle. So on
man,
and so forth.
Hey, look, man. You know what? Everybody's all like, "You do shows after the shows again." We're doing for special
Friday.
SmackDown Friday.
Yeah, we're listening to the Friendos. And after that, we're going to do a SmackDown recap, and then next Saturday, a week from this Saturday,
the 31st, last
New
day.
Year's Eve, we're going to do the Friendo Awards winners.
That is correct. So that's exciting. And the Friendo Award video, like you said, is going up in 2 days. That's on
the nominations. Yes.
Saturdays.
Yes.
Friday?
And then, of course, we're doing Smash Zone
Friday.
this Thursday. And then I assume Smash Zone next Friday. But
yeah, I don't see why not. That's the 29th. We could do that. I'm cool with that. On this episode of Going in Raw, of course, we're going to be talking about AEW Dynamite. And a really terrific main event. We had a curse word. We had some cursing on the show, which was kind of great. The formation of a new faction.
Yes.
The official dissolving of a popular tag team. That's all. That was all one thing right there.
Yeah, that was one segment. Yeah.
More action on Andrade. But first, we got this. We're going to talk about this. So last Friday, Dave Meltzer reported in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that AEW was planning on revamping the look of their shows next year. In a recent interview with TV insider Tony Khan, confirmed that Dynamite Rampage will have a new look in 2023. Before I get to this quote, can we just acknowledge for a second for everybody in our comments, we get them every once in a while, who says, Dave Meltzer's wrong all the time. He never gets anything right. Let the record show. This is the time he reported it, and then it turned out to be right, Larson.
Yeah, that's correct.
Got to give credit where credit's due, darn it, right?
Indeed.
Yeah, man. So here's a quote. He says, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag necessarily, especially so close to the big day. But at the start of 2023, we're going to open the year on Wednesday, January 4th, with the first Dynamite in Seattle, marking a full year of Dynamite on TBS. We'll definitely have a new look, to say the least. I'm excited about it. I think it's a nice thing to present to the fans, but frankly, I've found more so than ever the more you talk about these things. When you build them up, you don't want to create expectations that are impossible. I will say the set will be beautiful, though. The look of Rampage will also be different. That makes sense because they're taped back-to-back oftentimes.
Yes.
This will affect the way people view so from now on, editorializing is going to be in whisper form.
Yes.
This will affect,
it's like a sidebar.
Sidebar. This will affect the way people view AEW. He means All Elite Wrestling on Wednesdays and Fridays in terms of
Rampage.
in terms of presentation. With the set and the show with the same great action, end quote for now. We have another one here in a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, new look.
New set confirmed. Wonder if that means the end of the heel and face tunnels.
Instead of heel and face tunnels, what would you prefer? What would you?
I mean, like we mentioned before, each faction should get their own tunnel.
Okay, that's good. This faction.
And if you're not in a faction, there's a tunnel dedicated to people who aren't in a faction.
So, like next week, they're going to be building the Moguls affiliates.
Mogul affiliates, yeah.
Is it affiliates? Is that what it was?
Yeah, affiliates.
Yeah, they're going to be building that one. They're like, yeah, squeeze the Dark Order over a little bit. Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't know, like trying to think of like a different thing than like a tunnel.
Yeah.
Like you know, how about this? How about this? You have like a good guy hole in the ground, a bad guy hole in the ground.
All right.
and like they're under there, they have to climb their way out.
That certainly takes a lot of effort before you have a wrestling match, though.
Yeah, I mean, they're like gassed. Here, hold on.
I don't know. Maybe they'll have something analogous to the SmackDown fist. What can they use for like a SmackDown fist?
Oh, foot.
All right, like super kicking foot, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go. Or
That'd
Kenny's gun finger.
That's good. Yeah. That's good.
Boy, these are all great ideas. I hope
these
Tony's
are fantastic
watching the
ideas.
show.
Hopefully Tony Khan's listening. Yeah,
he should be.
Should be. So Tony Khan, the same interview with a TV Insider, also talked about new hire Michael Mansory and what he brings to the table. Mansory worked for WWE for a number of years. I believe he was number 2 in production behind Kevin Dunn for a while. This is what Tony Khan had to say. Quote, Mike just started with us and is a huge acquisition for AEW. He has so much knowledge in TV production. To have him join us as a co-executive producer and senior production executive is really great for us. So important to have someone with his experience. Right now, he's evaluating things in terms of presentation. I'm excited about what he will add to AEW. It'd be awesome if they mixed up the presentation quite a bit.
Yeah.
A full reinvention of the wheel when it comes to the wheel. Sorry, not the game show we were talking about a couple days ago.
Yeah, right.
Full reinvention of the wheel when it comes to wrestling production and presentation.
Is it a hologram or not? The idea number one. Somebody's out there in the ring with a microphone. The audience doesn't figure this is a hologram or not.
Hologram or not, you can play along at home too.
Right? Yeah, do channel points and everything.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Just all sorts of crazy ideas. I don't know. Like, oh, there's a match and then a train goes through the place.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go. That's all good stuff. Keep it coming.
Again, okay. How about this? Instead of having an actual match, you just have one of those speed artists out there and they just draw the whole thing. And there's your winner right there.
Move by move. Yes.
Yeah. You should.
No, even better. Even better. No, you have 2 speed artists.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Drawing out the match, and then each speed artist has a proxy for a wrestler.
Yeah, like one guy has to draw Mox pinning Takeshita, and the other guy draws Takeshita pinning Mox.
Exactly.
Whoever finishes first
wins the match. We did it. So now they get some entertaining wrestling right action. Now, man. You get some great artwork too.
We're reinventing wrestling. It's kind of great.
We are. Yeah. We are.
And nobody gets hurt doing that.
Exactly. Well, man, I guess you could
carpal tunnel.
Exactly. Some sort of cramps in the forearm or wrist, perchance, from all the painting quickly. Yeah, I'm interested to see what AEW eventually looks like in about 2 weeks' time.
In about 3 weeks' time, it's going to be old hat already.
It's not going to be a drastic change. No.
It's going to be bells and whistles, right? It's going to be bells and whistles.
You know, paint.
This is the danger here. I don't want to get anybody alarmed. But this dude's coming from WWE. He's been there for a long time. He was apparently considered to be heir apparent to Kevin Dunn. Mm-hmm. Is the presentation change just going to be WWE? Is this all going to look like WWE?
Well, maybe this is me being optimistic, too optimistic. But maybe sitting under the learning tree of Kevin Dunn for so many years, Mike Mansory could see the advantages and the disadvantages of Kevin Dunn's approach to directing wrestling television. You know, I would hope that they wouldn't bring him in just to be for their show to be a carbon copy of WWE production wise, because already they've taken efforts to separate themselves in terms of how the show looks.
Yeah, right.
From WWE, we don't have all the shaky cam or the crash zooms and the constant cutting on action They let stuff breathe more in terms of how the show is put together.
Yeah.
Not the pace of the show. The pace is frenetic.
Yeah,
but in terms of how it's shot.
Yeah.
And I hope that doesn't change. If the idea is we're evaluating things in terms of presentation, maybe it's, hey, how can we change up the presentation to separate us even more as opposed to looking more like the competition?
You'd like to think that this guy would come up would have his own ideas, and maybe he was interested in implementing those ideas in WWE, and now he'll be able to do that in AEW. Maybe it's going to be no different than Vince Russo, had all of his ideas filtered through Vince McMahon, but then he got to run freely over in WCW, and you saw how that turned out. Horribly,
yeah.
Awful. Yeah, hopefully it's not that. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what this guy brings to the mix. Hopefully it's I don't know, something new, something fresh, something interesting, something that looks forward, not backwards. Whatever that
Take
is.
Take the visual language of pro wrestling forward.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I hope that, because AEW, it has its own kind of flavor, and I hope that that's not missing. And I don't even know, it's got, they mix up their presentations on a micro scale during the show quite a bit. We saw, Hobbs's little bit filmed one way. We saw, that you have your traditional backstage interview stuff filmed another way. And I like that it mixes it up a little bit. I hope it's not homogenous. I hope it's not just all the same thing.
It does feel like, you have Darby when he does those little short films. It feels like when there's
I love that.
little vignettes or video packages for various wrestlers. It's almost like not only is this story they're telling in their voice, but also to a degree you'd hope the visuals are at least inspired by that voice,
Well, that's another point, is that, Tony Khan obviously offers his wrestlers plenty of freedom to do stuff. And oftentimes we've seen, as you mentioned with Darby, they go out, film stuff, and it ends up on TV. And I hope we don't lose that either. I hope that if he gives his wrestlers to produce stuff that is broadcast quality,
exactly,
they'd still be free to put that on TV if it's good.
Yeah, certainly hope so. Hope so. Speaking of Dynamite, we can talk about Dynamite now.
Yeah.
One hell of a main event.
Oh, boy.
I'm very happy they had Jamie Hayter versus Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's Championship main event, the show, because it was spectacular. We said it time and again. You give the women time on the show,
they can knock it out of the park, man.
You got that right. They always deliver. This match was fantastic. It was physical. It was hard hitting. Down towards the last 5 minutes, edge of your seat stuff. Just a really spectacular bout. And I hope we get more.
It was also, look, the outcome was never in doubt, I don't think. But there was one pretty shocking upset on the show. Otherwise, it was kind of filled like you had Mox versus Darius Martin. That was lopsided. Hook, I'm just not saying it's a bad match. I'm just saying, y'all.
It wasn't terribly competitive, no.
Right, yeah. You had Hook versus Exodus Prime. Great name, and I'm sure this guy has a great future. But, obviously we know how that one's going to go, and it's always going to be less than 3 minutes. And then, obviously, Elite versus Death Triangle. That shit's knocking. That's never going to be bad. That's always going to be good stuff.
Yeah.
And it was another good match. But, match of the night clearly was the main event, dude. That match was killer.
By far.
And the crowd was fucking going apeshit for it, too.
Yep. And it's a testament to the skills of both Hayter and Shida.
They have a great champion with Hayter, man.
Yeah. That the crowd was invested in the story they were telling there. And Shida was kicking out of damn near everything. Hayter was throwing at her.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was great stuff. Fantastic stuff. We also saw the official end of Swerve in Our Glory. Swerve's got a new faction.
Mogul Associates.
Mogul Affiliates.
Affiliates, thank you. That's
affiliates.
It's like a Twitch affiliate.
Yes. And so it's Parker Boudreaux, Harland, formerly in NXT. He's been
what
in
happened
AEW.
to the Trustbusters?
Don't
Sorry,
know.
I know you don't. I'm not asking you necessarily.
Did it happen on Dynamite or Rampage?
Or Elevation. We watch Rampage.
Well, that's my question. Does it happen on Dynamite or Rampage?
Dynamite or Rampage. Yeah,
No,
clearly
I don't know anything
not.
about it.
Clearly not.
Don't know anything about it. So apparently, John Fearlow says we saw the end. All right. So, and then somebody else who I was not familiar with, though, it might be Tom McDonald, who is a rapper and also maybe pro wrestler.
Wait a second. Hold on. Was that?
What?
I thought that wasn't just a joke in chat. That was real.
I actually looked on Twitter, and there was some talk of that might be Tom McDonald.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. Right on.
So it might not be, but it was brought up here in our chat, and I looked into it a little bit, so maybe. I don't know.
Oh, okay. That's sure. Cool. Right on. Yeah, I don't know who that guy is. I honestly wish that they just didn't ever give him a name. Because he comes out of nowhere, very unique looking character, all sorts of tattoos everywhere, crazy hair, and yeah, he was. They all. I kind of liked how Swerve. They set this up. Rick Ross is in there.
Jorge D says Sean Ross Sapp sent him a tweet that is not Tom McDonald.
Okay, all right, confirmed by Sean Ross Sapp, another guy who gets things right. I like the setup. With Rick Ross appropriately for what's about to happen, calling Keith Lee a big motherfucker, uncensored by the way. Hilarious. Keith Lee's reaction was great. And then Swerve comes down. He doesn't get in the ring. He just comes down. And it's like he started attacking with his moguls,
Yes.
Like first Harlan gets him, and then
his affiliates.
His affiliates,
not his moguls.
And then this other guy, he's the mogul. He's the new mogul, Larson. And then all these guys have to attack him with all their various powers and stuff. And then Swerve gets up. They put a cinder block on Keith Lee, and he does a big double stomp from the top, which was a great sight. I just like that Keith Lee is so powerful that it takes all these different guys piling on him in different ways. It was a really great sight there. Yeah.
I mean, the segment didn't go off totally fluidly. It was a bit messy, but it was still wildly entertaining. And them referencing Swerve and Rick Ross referencing the accusations line from their last segment they were all in.
Yeah, that was
a lot
good.
Of fun.
I hope we see a lot more of Rick Ross.
I do. I agree. I do. I want to see a lot more of him too. Yeah.
So apparently Tom McDonald's also an alt-right rapper.
Oh,
that was terrible. Oh man. Yeesh. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, no, it was cool to see a new faction, one featuring Rick Ross, and I feel like this is a better role for Parker Boudreaux than being in the Trust Busters.
Yes.
Yes. What do you think of the Mogul and Associates affiliates?
Mogul affiliates
logo.
I didn't really get a good look at it.
I like that it's very designy, and it doesn't look anything like a pro wrestling logo.
Yes,
which I like. You can wear it to a bar, but also there's something to be said about some of the just having a straight up pro wrestling logo.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I think it's cool. It looks like an album cover or whatever. It looks like a Pink Floyd
album
cover.
It really does. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're gonna say who the third member.
Hopefully he doesn't have a name. I just want him to not have a name at all.
Yeah. Then we also, as you mentioned, you got the fifth match in the best of 7, Elite versus Death Triangle as a no DQ bout. This was a lot of fun. The Elite close the gap to 3-2. Commentary directly referenced the Cavs coming back from a 3-1 deficit against the Warriors.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that odds are that's your story there. Although I think it'd be pretty great if somehow in Game 7, if you will, Death Triangle somehow pulls out the win.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I agree. I really kind of hope that happens. No, I think that'd be good. And then you can have the Elite go on and fight House of Black, because that's a high profile thing. Mm-hmm. And that's not, don't have to be for the titles because they wouldn't be champions. And House of Black goes over there. And you can look, the Elite's been out for a long time. They should struggle a little bit.
Ring rust.
Yeah, why not? Sure. Rest or rust. That's always the line that goes into a lot of those NBA finals, because it's always some somebody's coming in from a bunch of 7-game series going all the way. Meanwhile, you got another team cleaning house in four games straight or whatever.
They have a lot of downtime. Yeah. Not as sharp as a team that's been playing every other day.
Right, exactly. But they also have plenty of rest. Yeah.
They get rest. Yeah, exactly. And then to open the show, Chris Jericho extended invitation to Absolute Ricky Starks to join the Jericho Appreciation Society.
Mm-hmm.
Starks not so politely declined the invitation.
Yeah.
He gets attacked by the JAS. Action Andretti comes to make the save. Later on, he gets a fireball.
Man, this was a hell of a fireball. This wasn't a little spark, man. This was straight up flames on his face. Mm-hmm. It was a lot. I was like, oh, God, that's horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like that they're really, Jericho obviously took a lot of pride in putting this guy over. So he's going to get the Jericho. He's going to get the Jericho appreciation, you know? Yeah. And so they gave him a whole giant ass interview promo thing. And then he got a face full of fire.
So here's Sean's tweet about third member of Mogul affiliates.
What you got?
Guys that wasn't Tom McDonald on AEW, lol.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. There you go.
I mean, look, Sean, kind of looked like the guy.
Yeah, it did. And then there was some conversation about it on Twitter. And I was like, well, hey, people might have a better idea who that is than I would, because I have no idea who that guy is.
No need to act like we're assholes. Sean. Oh, man. Anyways, let's dive into it. Started with a Ricky Starks promo. Good pop for Ricky Starks.
Yes.
I think this little bit with MJF really did a lot for him. He says, what would have been really nice is the new AEW champ, but that's not how things turned out because I lost, and that's on me because I should have known better. But at least I lost like a man while Max won like a coward. At least I can stand here with dignity, and while Max might still be champ, he says he has none of that. If I was this close to beating you, MJF, just imagine what happens next time, and there will be a next time. But this doesn't mean it's the end of the road. This is just the start. And if I got to work my way up to a title shot, line him up, I'll knock him down at the end of the day. I'm going to be the man around here. Let me tell you something, because I'm absolute Ricky Starks.
Oh, then dun. Chris Jericho with Sammy. Sammy Guevara. And Daniel Garcia come to the stage. Jericho says, Ricky, I've been watching you for a long time, and I saw you last week. You're right. You did come close to winning the world title, but you're not a dollar store version of anybody. You're $1 million talent. You'll be a champ someday, but you're not quite ready yet. I don't want you to be a flash in the pan. And after talking it over with Danny and Sammy, we think you have everything it takes to be a big star at AEW. All you need is a little influence, a little advice, a little Chris Jericho. We've talked it over, and we want you to join Jericho Appreciation Society. And then Stark says, oh, wow, the almighty Jericho gave me a compliment. I like that you know how to stay relevant. You constantly evolve. Hell, not long ago, you came out built like an air fryer. But now you're shredded. You dress like a single father after his 5th divorce. And while the offer is tempting, I'm going to say, hell no, I don't want to join the JAS. Just last week, you lost to Action Andretti, and your stock kind of dropped. And the J and JS might as well stand for jobbers.
Ooh, crowd loved that one.
Yeah, they did. And Jericho did a great job of, that really stung him.
Yeah, really, yeah.
Here's the thing. He says those jazz holes, and you could take that word, jazz holes, Sammy and Danny have it done. He kind of changes his what he's talking about here. He says, Danny, what has Chris done for you? I think he was trying to say, what have you gained by being in the JAS as opposed to they haven't done anything, because Daniel Garcia was just pure champion. He says, Danny, what has Chris done for you? You lost your title, right? And Sammy, I could care less for you, but you're not going to suck the life out of me. If you're looking for something to suck, I do have something for you.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then he eventually challenges Jericho to a match. Jericho says, wrong answer, because Hager's right behind him. He lays out Ricky from behind. Sammy and Daniel Garcia hit the ring to help with the beat down. Jericho gets in the ring. He's about to hit Starks with Floyd the Bat, and Action Andretti makes the save.
That's right. We got a little bit more of that later. First up, we have the Elite versus the Death Triangle. So this, of course, is the weapons match. And there was a Christmas tree. How did Excalibur refer to it? The unforgiving fake
needles,
pine needles
of a Christmas a fake Christmas tree, which is funny because at least the fake Christmas tree we have, the needles are actually pretty soft.
Yeah, I think they're.
The thing is, though, the branches are filled with wire.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
so that could hurt.
Right. Yeah.
I guess he was probably being sarcastic.
I think he was. But yeah, there was 3 hammers in this particular match.
Yes,
and in fact, they did a pretty decent job with one of the false finishes here, because Phoenix hit Kenny, much as he did in the first one with the hammer. And man, I swear to God, I was like, holy shit, that's going to do it. Nope. Kenny kicked out of a hammer shot. Mm-hmm. Eventually, it looked like all 3 members of Death Triangle were going to take out Kenny with hammer, and they all got their leg, or 2 of them got their legs swept. That allowed Kenny to take advantage And eventually, what was it? Yeah, it was just a one-winged angel after that, I think. No. It was a Meltzer driver on a chair.
Yeah, Phoenix.
To Phoenix with that. Yeah, so Kenny hit a Snapdragon on Phoenix, and then the Young Bucks hit him with the Meltzer driver on a chair to get the win here.
Yeah, then afterwards, Pac and Penta are just beating the hell out of the Elite. At least Matt got busted. So Matt or Nick. One of the Young Bucks got busted open for sure.
It was Nick. Yeah.
It was Nick. Yeah, it was Nick. You're right. Yeah. And so they're just stomping on him. And like all three of the Elite are in the corner, almost kind of like, like leaning on each other to keep upright somewhat.
Yeah.
And then Phoenix goes over there and like kind of pulls Pac and Penta off. And eventually Penta goes back over there, hits a couple more stomps at Phoenix. And Alex has to go and say, no, get off him.
Yeah. So a little bit of dissent. I wonder if that's going to play into the next match, if Death Triangle is going to fall apart a little bit more, perhaps.
Well, you look at their entrance, and you have Phoenix. So you have Penta in the middle, between the two tunnels. A few steps forward, you have Phoenix in front of the face tunnel.
Yeah.
You have Pac in front of the heel tunnel. That's the dynamic that's playing out right now, more or less.
Well, you know what, dude? Going back to the presentation thing, I've actually always appreciated that about AEW. You have the face. You have the heel tunnel, you got the face tunnle, and even Cody, who loved to play with both of them, had his own middle elevator.
Yeah,
Cody Vader. I like that. I thought that was like one. AEW does tend to take they tend to take from other places. Call it inspiration, whatever you.
Yeah.
I don't know if the heel face tunnel thing is from somewhere else. Are you aware if that's from somewhere else?
I vaguely remember somebody mentioning TNA maybe having something like that at some point.
Oh, okay. Maybe. It's very cool if it's their original thing or if they took it from somewhere else. I really love the idea.
Yeah. Well, because it's great. Like a face happens to go, comes out in the face tunnel, walks through the heel tunnel. Oh, shit. What does that mean?
Well, what does it mean exactly? Yeah. Should we read too much into it or not? Yeah. So anyways, after that we had, I don't know. I get I hope because, TNA Universal Studios says the Sweet Prince. Thank you very much.
Okay.
No, because my thing about this whole best of 7 is let's get a different story every time. And on a small level, we're getting that, this time we got this. And I wonder if it's going to be sort of the Death Triangle, eventually falling apart being the thing that, leads them to losing these titles and their entire faction, basically.
Yeah. Then we go back to last week after MJF runs through the crowd to escape from Bryan Danielson. He drops a promo. He says, Danielson, you're a coward. It was my moment. And what do? You tried to attack me from behind. I beat Starks clean. It should have been my moment. And you stuck your shitty hipster nose in it. Everybody wants to ride my wave. Everybody wants to eat off my plate. But guess what, Brian? In my reign of terror, you eat less than you desire. And I think he said you get more of what you deserve.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick here, we got a super chat from Justifiable Treason saying, hey guys, sorry about missing the last few shows. The bell notification does nothing. It's sort of spotty. It's worked for me in the past, and then sometimes I think I notice it hasn't. He says, anyways, can you book Enforcer versus Rick Ross for ACW? Look, here's the thing. We'd have to do it quick because I get the feeling Rick Ross is all elite.
Yeah.
Graphic
any second
soon.
now, yeah.
We also have Nightfall 78 re-upping their membership, and Poke says,
thank you.
Poke with a super chat says, got tickets to New Year's Smash. Super excited. That's awesome.
That's awesome. Awesome.
So anyways, after that, we had an Action Andretti interview. He says, I defeated Chris Jericho, and ever since, my life hasn't been the same. Been getting lots of love and support from the AEW fans. And while all that is good for me, he says, I knew the Jericho Appreciation Society would take their anger out, and they did that on Ricky Starks. And I was there to back him up. And then 2.0 step in, say, hey, you're on a hot streak. You could say you're on fire. And then he turns around and whoop-ah. Jericho hits him with a fireball. Do you think he's going to do the thing where he's like in kayfabe blinded from this for a couple of weeks?
Oh, they should do something. They got to sell this for a while.
Getting hit in the face with fire is that's no small thing, man.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he'll come out with like his face or his head bandaged up or something like that.
Oh, there you go. That's good. Come out like a fake cane mask or something.
Well, you'd have to go something that extreme, but something.
Yeah. Band, yeah. No, I like band like the Invisible Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just like the head.
Yeah. Then Renee Paquette interviews Bryan Danielson in the ring. And he says, I don't expect the Blackpool Combat Club to forgive what William Regal did. He's done some pretty bad things. But here's the thing. I first trained to wrestle here in San Antonio. My first match was 15 minutes up the road at Far West Rodeo. You guys might have seen me there do some horrible line dancing. It says I was first trained by Rudy Gonzalez and Shawn Michaels. But the man who turned me into the wrestler I am today is William Regal. He also turned me into the person I am today. He says, I understand Mox, Claudio, and Wheeler don't have that same relationship with him, but when Regal was in the hospital and I thought I was going to lose him, I cried because he's made my life better, my wrestling better, everything better. So then he gets to come here to AEW, and I loved having him here in AEW. And the one thing Regal taught me is that there are consequences for your actions. One thing MJF needs to learn is that there are consequences for your actions. Max, I've been listening to everything you said. There are consequences when you send Regal to the hospital. You call me a coward, MJF. Get your ass out here right now. But we don't get MJF.
No, we get Ethan Page and Stokely. They come to the ramp. Page says, I make it all the way to the finals of the Eliminator tournament. Bryan didn't do that. I made it to the final 2 of the Dynamite Battle Royal. Bryan didn't do that. And everyone knows if I faced MJF for the title, I'd be the champion. But for some reason, Vegetable Man thinks he can jump in front of me in the line. And then Stokely says, Bryan, you should go home, shop at Trader Joe's, and eat your cauliflower Cheetos. You shop at Trader Joe's. Have you had cauliflower Cheetos before?
I've never seen cauliflower Cheetos at Trader Joe's, no.
All right. So Bryan says, man, I'm sorry I can't concentrate. The glare off Stokely's head is distracting. Can you grow some hair up there, please? And with the crowd telling you guys to very politely shut up, they were in fact chanting, shut the fuck up. He says, I couldn't hear what you said. Did you just call me Vegetable Man? Stokely's pissed about the hair comment, says, you raggedy bitch. Then Page says, I didn't call you Vegetable Man because of what you eat. I call you Vegetable Man because if you think you're jumping ahead of me, I'm going to turn you into a vegetable. And then Bryan says, well, if you're going to do that, why not do it right here, right now? And then Page starts taking off his shirt, and he's like, I thought about it. He says, I got no problem popping off my top while my pants are staying on. So why don't we do it next week? I'm not doing it for you, San Antonio. You suck. I'll see you next week. And meanwhile, MJF is watching backstage.
Yeah, he's there. He just didn't come out. Then we got a Mox promo. He says, this $300,000 Trios Casino Battle Royal, that sounds like one heck of a good time. So I don't miss that. So you'll know where I'll be on Friday, Hangman. We can keep going like we've been going. But when exactly are you going to settle this? Are we going to settle this in the ring? But what is there to settle? You got knocked out. How else did you see that playing out? Did you see it playing out differently? Oh, poor Hangman woke up in the hospital. What do you think I was trying to do with that clothesline? It ain't my problem you got a glass jaw. I'm not the bad guy.
Ouch. And
he moves on to Darius Martin, who he has a match with tonight. And says, all I hear about him is he's injury prone. Is that my fault too? And he says, well, we're all teachers in the Blackpool Combat Club, so I'm going to have to teach Darius a hard lesson tonight.
Then we got another promo. Samoa Joe this time.
Yeah, there's a lot of talking.
I texted you on this one. I was like, at this point with Samoa Joe, I was like, we're 45 minutes deep. We've had one match. Come on now. Samoa Joe says, hello, friends. It's very holiday setting. King of television. He's actually being pretty cordial here. He's got a cordial tone. He says, hello, friends. Samoa Joe here, universally known as the one true king of television. Taking a moment to wish you all a happy holiday. And Wardlow, I have a special greeting for you. I wish you the happiest and merriest of holidays. May it be filled with friends, family, and people you love. Because I think we both know that you're not going to be having a happy new year. In fact, Santa may not be bringing you what you want on December 25th, but on December 28th, I'm going to give you more than you ever asked for. After I'm done giving you exactly what you asked for, I'm going to take from you. Wardlow, have a happy holiday season. But come December 28th, all the holiday cheer ends. He said it a lot more eloquently than I did.
Then we had Hook versus Exodus Prime. Very short match. Hook wins with Red Rum, and then we cut backstage. And Stokely's cutting a promo while Lee Moriarty and Big Bill are laying into Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
So Stokely says, well, this Neanderthal, talking about Jungle Boy, thought he was walking around in Beverly Hills. And Hook, just like he can't walk these streets alone. And then Big Bill choke slams Jungle Boy into the dumpster. And then Hook kind of like casually leaves, I guess, to make the save.
Yeah, I guess so. We don't know because they immediately, before he was even through the tunnel, they kicked in Mox's music, and we go into that match. Hook is already really over. Jungle Boy's already really over. Why are they doing this?
I don't know.
And why is it like Hook having to save Jungle Boy? I would hope that maybe next week they'll reverse it. Well, Jungle Boy has a match, and backstage they beat up Hook. So there's some, because it just sort of feels like now Hook has to always save Jungle Boy. And I'm like, Jungle Boy's supposed to be his own man.
Exactly.
That's sort of the point.
Exactly. He just got out of the tag team situation.
Yeah.
Why are you potentially putting him in another tag team situation? You've already tried that with Hook, with Danhausen. Didn't really work.
What did that ever? By the way, there's so much that goes on this year. How did that end? Hook and Danhausen.
I think they had that one match at the kickoff for pay-per-view, and they just kind of fizzled.
Nothing. And then they just didn't do it. Maybe they did something on Dark Elevation. I don't know.
Maybe, but again, if it doesn't happen on Dynamite or Rampage, I don't know about it.
It kind of doesn't happen for us, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, we had that Jon Moxley versus Darius Martin match after the Hook stuff. Mox gets a Death Rider here to get the win, but this was really good stuff. Mox puts on really good matches, and of course Darius Martin's a hell of a talent. But this was good stuff. It was just Moxley beating the crap out of him.
Yeah, pretty much. Then we had a Jamie Hayter Hikaru Shida video package hyping up their main event, and then we had the latest edition of these Book of Hobbs video packages.
This one was pretty dark, man. Like, he talked about basically being abused. Did he say he got shot as a child?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know if that's true. That's pretty hardcore. Anyways, yeah. No, I like these. Again, my only criticism is what we've already talked about. I think this would be more powerful if they just sort of did it all at one time. So we got the entire,
story,
vignette story.
Yeah.
And stabbed. Yeah, he said he got stabbed too. Boy, that's a lot. If that's true, my goodness gracious, good for him for, getting through all that and becoming an AEW superstar. Yeah, it would have been cool as like one long big thing because these things are filmed really well and they're done really well.
Yeah,
and his voiceover was really good here.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, I kind of wish they had just, instead of doing 30 to 60 second little bits of it, if you want to run it in parts over a couple of weeks, that's fine. But give us like 2-3 minutes per segment.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I get the feeling the entire thing is like 4 minutes.
Yeah,
and they just have they're trying to do this over the span of 8 weeks.
Seemingly, yeah. Then we had Gun Club versus FTR. Gun Club wearing some Bret Hart inspired gear as a kind of a little bit of a jab to FTR. Fun enough match. The finish made me feel like that FTR is probably not going to be in AEW very long because they took the loss here to the Ass Boys via roll up and Colton holding on to Austin's hands while he was rolling up Dax.
Yeah. I mean, when did they say the contract was up? It wasn't in March, was it? Oh, was it that long from now?
Yeah.
That far from now? That's like months away.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, they're still the IWGP Tag Champions.
Yeah,
well, I guess Gun Club's now the linear,
the lineal champs.
The lineal champs. Yeah.
Well, I mean, FTR's got the match against Yoshihashi and Goto at Wrestle Kingdom. They'll probably lose those IWGP ones there.
Man, limping towards 2023. This FTR, man. Wowza.
Yeah.
Yeah. So FTR takes the loss there.
Yeah, somewhat surprising. But I mean, maybe they'll have a rematch and then FTR will get the win.
I mean, look, the thing is, they for whatever reason, Gun Club's been getting a lot of TV time. They have to be seen at some point. Isn't it crazy? When was the Acclaim match? Like 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
And Acclaim picked up that win. It was a huge deal. And now it's like, oh, Gun Club can beat you too? The Briscoes beat them? Well, Briscoes are a big deal.
Yeah.
But like,
and it wasn't like they lost by roll up. It was like a brutal dog collar match. They lost.
What they should do? They should like show FTR backstage, and Cash is giving Dax all that shit for taking all those singles matches.
Yeah. Well, they were at least really selling the damage that FTR was still dealing with from the dog collar match.
Yeah, I guess so.
That was an aspect of it,
Yeah. Anyways, so after that, we had a very intentionally bad rap video from Sanjay Dutt, Double J, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh. Mainly just Sanjay Dutt rapping just terribly. Half the time he was out of sync with the video.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were cutting a thing on the Acclaimed. And then even like when they go back to the commentary, Taz is like, that was the most off-putting rap song I've ever heard.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes. So I guess the match on Rampage is Double J and Lethal against Bowens and Billy. It's not for the tag titles.
Oh, okay. That's good. You know what? That kind of like makes the tag title thing a bit more meaningful, you know? Yeah. Like the Acclaim's not just going to defend against any old.
Yeah. I mean, I would not be surprised if somehow Lethal and Double J get the win in that particular bout, and they're like, hey, we beat Bowens and Daddy Ass. We should get a tag title shot now.
You know, man, I'll be honest with you. I kind of miss the AEW rankings. Because around this time every week, we'd be like, wait, who's number one ranked in the tag team?
Yep.
And then we'd go and look at the rankings and be like, oh, it's FTR again.
Yeah. For 35 weeks in a row, it's been
it
FTR.
Probably still is. Like if you check it now, it probably still is.
Here, I'll
they
check
haven't
it.
Updated. They haven't taken it down? It's probably still up.
Yeah, as far as the rankings. August 31st. Number one contenders, FTR.
FTR, there you go. Well, maybe they'll get their shot. Oh, yeah. Okay, so then we had this, a conflict mediation with Rick Ross?
Yeah.
So Keith Lee comes to the ring first. Ross tells the crowd to make some noise. He says, I'm the biggest boss, and when I come to make history, and we're going to make history. We got big business to discuss. It's time to bring out the young legend. But before we hit the music, he says, Keith, you're special. You're a big motherfucker. We're coming to make history. But Swerve still doesn't come out. He's like delaying, or he's like stalling.
Yeah.
So Swerve walks out. He says, oh, I wasn't aware we were doing this on Keith's time again. And Swerve isn't waiting for nobody. He says, Swerve is going to start doing things Swerve's way. Me and you, Keith, we should own everything. But Ross, I can't deal with all the accusations. And then Rick Ross turns and says, false accusations. He says, so Keith, you need to keep your eye on the ball. You can't keep your eyes on the tag titles, on your health, and honestly, you need to keep your eyes on the back of your head from now on. And then, whoop-ah, Parker Boudreaux attacks Keith from behind. Keith sends him out of the ring. That's not enough. Swerve waves Keith to the stage. Some other dude attacks Keith Lee on the ramp. Mm-hmm. And then Parker blasts Keith with a chair shot. Swerve tells Parker and other dude to move the ring steps. They put Lee on top of them and then put a cinder block over Keith Lee's chest. And then Swerve hits a big old stomp off the top onto the cinder block. It was a great visual.
Yeah. That closing bit there with the cinder block was really, really well done.
It was. That was like the one well done thing about this, because it was very confusing. It's like, oh, Parker Boudreaux, okay. All right, I guess he needs something to do, I guess. Because the entire time, I'm like, what happened to the Trustbusters? And then the other guy comes out and it just gets really confusing.
Yeah, because we still have no idea who it is.
Still don't know who it is. We know who it isn't.
Yeah.
We know it's not Tom McDonald.
It's not Tom McDonald.
Alt-right rapper. We know it's not Cronus McDonald. Who's pushing some NFT trading cards. We know it's not that guy. No. But it's somebody.
It's somebody. We don't know who it is. Maybe we'll learn who it is. Maybe we won't.
I hope we don't. Just want it to be this mystery. Yeah, what if there's always like a different X factor? Like next week, it's some other random tattooed guy, but it's not the first guy. It's a different guy.
But it's still not the other guy.
Right, yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, but it's not Tom McDonald. It's not Cronus McDonald. It's not. It's never him. It's always somebody different, but not that guy.
Yeah. Somebody that apparently people are confusing for that guy.
It should always be a variant of Tom McDonald.
But not
Tom McDonald.
Not Tom McDonald. Then we got a short video package for the Trios Battle Royal. So first, the best friends. And then they say, what are we going to do with $300,000? I think Trent says, I'm buying my mom a house. And then Chuck says, I'm going to buy my mom a chainsaw. And then Orange says, I'm going to buy Trent's mom a house.
Yeah.
And we cut to the Dark Order and Hangman Page. And so it's Reynolds, it's Uno, it's Silver. So they're talking about, we're going to be in the match. Hangman, we don't want you to interfere. We know Mox is going to be there. And then Paige says, when is it? And they say Friday. He's like, all right, you guys got this. And he leaves.
Yeah.
And they're like, where's he going? I think Raul says, oh, he must be going on vacation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll be a massive clusterfuck, but it actually should be fun. I love that they've attached $300,000 to it.
Yeah, I know.
That's great.
I know, me too.
And then we had our main event, Hikaru Shida versus Jamie Hayter. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Spectacular.
This match was fantastic. Yeah.
Spectacular. Like, they opened up just trading strikes.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that was kind of like the first third of the match was just trading strikes.
Yeah, right.
Oh, Adam Beveridge said, I think Paige said, I got to book a flight. So I guess he's booking a flight to Rampage.
Ah, okay. Isn't Rampage right now, though?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So down towards the finish, Hayter's looking for a finish, Rainmaker. Shida counters with a jumping knee, hits a pair of kicks, looking for a Katana, her own finish. Hayter ducks that, looks again for a Rainmaker. Shida escapes that, hits a German suplex. So Rebel gets on the apron to distract the ref. And Britt brings Shida's kendo stick into the ring. Well, Shida hits her with the kick, hits her with the kendo, throws it out of the ring, looks for a kick on Hayter. Hayter catches her, looks for a power bomb. Shida does like a Rana into a roll-up. Well, Hayter rolls through and powers her up and hits a power bomb. Shida kicks out of that. Hayter hits a huge lariat. Shida kicks out of that. And then Hayter hits the Rainmaker to get the win. After the match, Britt and Rebel are stomping on Shida. Tony Storm runs down to make the save. Hayter hits her in the back with the title, though. So Britt and Rebel are holding up Tony as Hayter's setting up for another shot with the title. Saraya comes to the ring to make the save.
Yeah, I thought it was a good. I thought this was a really solid way to end the show.
Do you think there's a chance? I don't know if they will. If they make the tag match on January 11th, the 6-woman tag, where you got Jamie, Britt, and Rebel against Saraya, Tony, and Shida.
I think that's, now that you mention it, that is a possibility, isn't it? Unless Shida is just going to sort of quantum leap out of this, and it's going to end up being Tony and Saraya.
That's a possibility, too.
I feel like if they're going to do that, they really need to announce that on Rampage.
Absolutely.
Or next week on Dynamite, so that people's expectations aren't like, oh, it's Thunder Rosa or it's Sasha Banks or it's somebody else, Naomi or whatever. But yeah, they need to do that because given the current, Mandy Rose, given the current status of the free agency pool for the women's division, you don't want to get expectations up and it's like, oh, it's just Tony Storm. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, maybe that'll be the case. All right, we're going to go ahead and answer some questions now.
Yep.
Have a thread here on the Patreon, patreon.com/Steven Larson. By the way, over at Friendo Club, tomorrow morning, we're going to have the entirety of the Church of Friendo's office party.
Oh.
We played the home edition of Family Feud.
Oh, that was a blast.
Oh, hell. I just dropped them all. Look at that right there.
Oh, my gosh. It's an empty box now.
It says, well, it's got some in there. Yeah, so we did this. We'll give you a little hint right here. Larson, name a last-minute purchase you might make while waiting in line at a grocery store.
Pack of gum.
Survey says, number 2 answer, pack of gum.
Magazine.
Number 3 answer, magazine/book.
Pringles.
I don't have my X, but
what's number 1 then?
Candy/mints.
Oh,
so it's similar to gum.
Yeah, it's pretty close to gum.
And then number 4, there's one more. Number 4 is water.
Yeah,
water.
Drink a beverage, yes.
So anyways, patreon.com/Steven Larson. You can ask some questions for our recap episodes and then watch some bonus content too tomorrow on Overrun, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern.
It's our performance review, yes.
It's our yearly performance review. We asked you guys, what do you guys want to see from us in 2023? And we're gonna take a look at those answers. Or those questions we're gonna answer.
Exactly.
Alex,
Speaking of questions,
yeah, let's answer some. Alex Foster says, if the Elite left, hypothetically, what should the E in AEW be changed to?
Excellent.
AXW. Oh, E just for excellent. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. AXW. I like AXW.
And then you make Wardlow the top guy. And it's Wardlow's World.
Woo-woo.
AEW. Excellent wrestling.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Excellent.
What
do they just have Wardlow do like a surfer dude accent? Excellent. Oh, I guess Wayne and Garth, they were just from Aurora, Illinois, huh?
Yeah. Suburban Chicago, yes.
Yeah. Blake Whitehouse says, do you think all the uncensored F-bombs will bite AEW when it comes to negotiations? Nope. Accidents happen. Nobody's going to care.
Nope. Exactly. Nope.
Steve Klain, what would the Book of Larson look like? So we've seen Hobbs. It's, very, very gritty, it's on the streets. What's the Book of Larson?
I mean, it'd probably just be me sitting here in my chair, strumming some pretty boring chords on my guitar.
Just farting some holes into your office chair.
Yeah, that's about the extent of it. Yeah.
Sounds very lonely, man.
Yeah, not about lonely. It's not terribly exciting, though.
Yeah. Mine, the Book of Steve, would just be me, like, roughhousing with Gypsy, with my dog.
Yeah.
Her biting me. And we do this fun thing where we bite each other's face. She is so, I'll put my nose right up to her mouth and she'll like nibble on my nose a little bit. It's the cutest thing.
Goodness.
Because she could rip it off if she wanted to.
Yeah, she could.
But she doesn't because she's my best friend.
Moses Supposes asks, who faces MJF after Danielson? So they're going to do that match probably. They're not going to wait till Revolution to do that one.
No, that'll be. It's not going to be as soon as New Year's Smash, is it?
No, I don't think so. But it could be.
Isn't New Year's Smash is until like the fucking 10th or something, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's going to be New Year's. That's 20 days away.
Yeah, they'll do that.
Yeah. And then Oregon Grinder's got it right. I think it's going to be Hangman. I think Hangman's going to beat Mox, and then at Revolution it'll be Hangman versus MJF.
Okay, that could be.
That's my guess.
David Matushek, considering that AEW is getting a new look, should they change? Should they get a change in the logo and graphics department? Overall, I think the graphic assets they use are pretty solid. I don't necessarily have an issue with them.
I don't have an issue with them. I think I like it the way it is, but I do think it also looks. I don't know. I guess they could if you compare it to something like WWE, it does look 5 years behind it, which I don't mind. I think the aesthetic is just fine, and I think it adds a little bit of charm to it.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think that's probably what I'm going to expect is something that looks just updated, newer, slicker.
Yeah.
Not saying it needs it, but I think that's what's going to happen.
Nikyle here asks, with 2022 coming to a close, summarize how crazy this year has been in pro wrestling.
At 0 to 10, this has been an 11.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been off the charts nuts. I thought 2021 couldn't get any crazier than that. I honestly think I remember in our predictions video, I think I said 2022 is going to be boring.
Interesting.
Either in our predictions or sometime at the end of last year, I was like, there's no way that 2022 can top 2021. Well, I have a new prediction. 2023 is going to be boring as fuck.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Super boring.
Super boring.
I'm saying that so that it really cool shit happens. It's really good for our business when there's a lot of drama and shit. Yeah.
Well, I only got one of my predictions correct.
Which one was that?
More main roster stars on NXT.
Yeah, remember that seemed like you had that spot on, like for a second, like they were literally, that was the mandate. It was, we're going to have so much crossover. And then now it's like not that at all. But yeah, for a second they did that.
The New Day are the NXT tag champs, Steve.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I guess so, huh? There seemed to be, but there was like a gulf. There was like a gap before the New Day.
Oh, it's always kind of been an ebb and like a.
Who was before the New Day that came down there?
I mean, you're asking me something that requires memory.
Like Dolph was the champion.
Yeah,
he was the champion. Then he left.
Yeah.
Was there any other ones? Like Natalia was there.
Yeah, AJ.
Yeah, AJ and Waller, when they did, that was when they seemed, and AJ and Natty was like when they were doing that stuff. Apollo, that's different. Apollo's not a main roster guy anymore.
Yeah, I think
he's just staying
for,
there
for now.
Yeah.
I feel like there has been more, but I can't think of anybody.
Yeah. But it feels less like it's crossover and more as Shinsuke did. That's right. Shinsuke did an episode. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rhea was there. Yeah. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And they did the thing where pick your poison stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Oh, man. Anyways, that's going to do it for us. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Gunther on an iPad. That's right.